Namaste everybody. Thank you very much for coming for another class on Yoga Vidya. Today we will be taking specifically one subject only, and that is what is Dhyana, why do we perform Dhyana, and what are we hoping to achieve at the end of it. Now Dhyana, if you must know, is a kind of a fulcrum point. That is, we have our senses which are attached to the external world, and then we have to now draw that internally towards ourselves, and that process of drawing internally towards ourselves is dhyana. The thing is that it is a fulcrum which stops us from getting attached to the external linkages that drive our sense of identity and make us into to understand the meaning of the word I. Who am I? That is essentially what we are trying to do. Why are we doing it? Because we want to get moksha. Moksha is the fourth of the purusharthas. That is artha, kama, dharma and moksha. Now in order to, what is moksha? Moksha is merger with the Brahman. What is the Brahman? Brahman is the state of null. Now, if we have to do this, the first thing is we need to recognize that null is a cognitive state. It is not a mathematical state. Zero is not, in this particular case, a mathematical state or a physical state. It is a psychosomatic case. That means you have to viscerally get to the point of null. It's a cognitive state. That means, how do you do that? You have to bring your cognition to a point where it is not moving at all. That means your consciousness has to become zero. So what is the consciousness? For this, I will quickly run through the various shariras. That is, we have annamaya kosha, we have pranamaya kosha, we have manomaya kosha, we have vijnanamaya kosha, and we have anandamaya kosha. When you are in anandamaya kosha, you are in full merger with the Brahman. In annamaya kosha, or the filter that is keeping us from the Brahman is the physical filter. Our bodies and our various other bodies that we relate to. That is annamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha is internal. That is, we see the prana moving within our system in the various chakras, in the various nadis. So we begin to let go the impediments to the movement of prana. When we stop the impediment of prana moving, what happens is prana begins to get what do you call moving without any of the you can feel the prana moving in a very calm manner. And how is that manifested? I have told you all before itself. When our muscles begin to neither compress nor become tense and they are in neutral position, at that time we will experience the movement of prana in a natural form. Now, one moment, I am going to remove the captions because the captions are not coming on. The next thing is that from pranamaya kosha we go to manomaya kosha. What is manomaya kosha? Manomaya kosha is the various senses: sight, sound, smell, touch and other things. All this gets collated at the manas. Manas is the state, the point where our cognition controls or collates all the sensory stimulus. That then gets compared with dharma by the buddhi. Our intellect compares the incoming data with what our conditioning is. So when we begin to collate this, we begin to get the feeling of like, dislike, good, bad. Duality is experienced. So the way to control manas is you can do it in multiple ways. First way you can control manas is by physically holding the cognition steady, which is what Sri Krishna is talking about in chapter 5, that is dhyana. The second way of doing it is to recognize that dharma is a temporary thing. Okay, so when you begin to say that dharma is a temporary thing and you want to to overcome that particular part, what it means is that you have to then stop whenever you get into a cognitive state of trying to compare incoming stimulus with what you have. So you have to step back. That is called vairagyam. So you use jnana, that is, you use the temporary nature of existence and dispassion to move back to transcend dharma. So these two things will allow you to transcend what we call manomaya kosha. The last is vijnanamaya kosha. Vijnanamaya kosha is slowly beginning to realize that all rupa, all all of this that we have, the gunas that exist, the panchabhutas that exist, they are all transient. And to transcend that. And lastly, you have Anandamaya Kosha, where there is a complete stoppage of gunas. So that is the last stage. So nirguna state is Anandamaya Kosha. Nirrupa is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Okay. In order to do this, there are multiple ways of doing it. The first thing is you have to recognize that the self always separates itself from the environment. So you have the subject, that is I, you have the object, which is the other thing. So if you were to have a Bhagavan as an object, then what happens when you remove or you merge the subject with the object? You have what is called sahaja, or there is no difference between you and the object. In Tamil, they say sahajama padagaradu. That is, there is no difference between you and the other person. So that is the time when you don't have any filters between each other. Right? So that is the sahaja. How do we do this? So there are three things that I'm going to talk about today. The first one is the one that was talked about by Lata Madam the last class. That is, how do you have to bring your sight to the tip of the nose. Sit in a comfortable position and look at the tip of the nose, and you keep looking at it. Now, why do you do that? When you bring your entire sight to the tip of the nose, you're forcing your cognition, your consciousness to move there. And that will over time allow you to stop experiencing the self or the I. Now, why was I not teaching this? And that was the question that I think Lata Madam had asked last class. Why did I take another route? What was the route that I was teaching? I was saying, take each part of your body and begin to loosen it and let it go into silence. After that, slowly experience the gap between the incoming breath and the exhaling breath, and then go into the zone of silence and try to expand it, so that you are experiencing the state of a pot or a null point. Right? That was the second part. The third one is the mantra. You can also chant a mantra from within. So what happens is that each mantra has a frequency. What that frequency does is that over time, as you keep on chanting it, there is a dhatu in each mantra. So if you were to, let us say, Rama, so Ra and Ma, each of these has a particular frequency, and the dhatu is supposed to be vibrating at a particular frequency, which then begins to slowly attenuate the frequency with which your body functions. There are a lot of people who will say Muruga, Namah Shivaya, okay, like that. These are the common ones. When you do that, what happens is that the body begins to vibrate slowly at that frequency. Second thing that happens is that your senses slowly begin to get dulled. And then you reach the state of null. So the thing is that there is no right and wrong in the methodology. You can even mix and match. For those that have been initiated, or Diksha, the most common is during the Upanayana Samskara, when the Gayatri Diksha is given by the father to the child. When you do that, if the Gayatri mantra is done, very often that Gayatri mantra is chanted, the thing that happens is that over time that Gayatri mantra begins to stabilize the body. Why is the Gayatri mantra considered to be so effective? The Gayatri mantra is the mantra of a deity called Savita. Savita is the energy of the sun. So the mantra delegates all the capabilities of the sun to the individual. So if you really go through the mantra, it tries to take the energy of the sun into the individual, capabilities of the sun into the individual, and merge with the Brahman, which is why it's considered to be. I'm not going into the details of the Gayatri mantra because it's beyond the scope right now of this class. I'm only trying to get you all to understand what are the three different things that I'm going to talk about today and how they will help in your journey to finding samadhi. Ultimately, you have to reach the state of null. If you have to reach the state of null, you can either focus on one place. Another thing that they do is trataka. Trataka is you have a lamp and you keep staring at the lamp, so that your consciousness begins to get focused into a particular point and you hit the state of null. It is very difficult. The Nasikagre is very difficult, which is why, because today's world we are pummeled. In the olden days, what would happen? People will live in villages. There would be a certain rhythm in the village itself. The rhythm of nature would permeate the village, which meant that there was dharma in the home, dharma around. Everybody worked to a particular frequency. The farmer would take his bullocks to the field, he would be plowing, he would come. Everybody had a frequency which they accepted as a nature. Today we fight nature. We want certain things in a particular manner. Look at it this way. I have got lights all over. That is not natural. It is an induced state. So the induced state, you have to first figure out how to get out of that induced state. That induced state is the one that is creating the problem for all of us. So if you are going to try to practice what Sri Krishna says in chapter 5 and only do Nasikagre, the entire body is already in agitation. Your entire cognitive state is in agitation. It will be very hard for you to get to the state of Nasikagre. So what I did is that I tried to first calm your senses down. And that calming part is a very important thing. But once you calm down, you can either regress further into that calmness, or then you can try to do nasikagre, or you can do mantra. It doesn't matter. Have I made myself understood? If there are any questions, I can take those questions. Lata madam, you first, because you are the one who raised it.
So it's very the explanation is beautiful, sir. I've understood completely.
Okay, so now what? Will you practice?
Sir, I have practiced. I mean, I normally do the Nadi Shuddhi and what you suggest, and then I have tried, focusing on the tip of the nose. It's just that it's exceptionally difficult to focus
Yes.
on the nose. What happens is the eyes
Yes.
close. That is my experience. The
Okay.
eyes just close. It's a matter of seconds actually. Within about 6 7 seconds, my eyes would have closed. And
Why is that? Because you focus, no? You focus on the nose, right? The
yeah,
tip of the
but
nose.
somewhere the eyelids just close. It's pitch black, you know. You end up not looking at your nose after about a few seconds, maybe 10 15 seconds, I would say.
I see. Because what I experience is that when I put uh, my attention to the nose, I find my entire cognitive apparatus just getting pulled to that particular point. This is what I'm experiencing, and it can be very painful sometimes. Do you all experience that?
No, no, no pain at all, sir. For me, my problem is that my eyes just close.
So let it close, no?
No, but then you're not looking at your nose, no, because that is what Sri Krishna says. Look at your nose and focus on the tip of your nose.
Let me ask you a question. At the end of the day, what do you want? You want moksha, right? You want samadhi. If you want samadhi, why do you care? Use the tool that is available. I understand that Sri Krishna, but Sri Krishna did it 6,000 years ago when everybody was in chilled out place. Nobody really ran around. Everybody had was very, very cool. Today we are not cool. We are anything but cool. We are all, in a state of turbulence. So you need to find a solution that fits your personal requirement, no? Your swabhav and your own capacity or your own, what do we call, your circumstances. Why do you really want to get trapped into something like that?
No, I
And
understand, sir. I mean, if you say it's all right to just close your eyes, also, then it's fine. I mean, I just wanted to understand because you mentioned that in 2 3 spots in chapter 5. Because this is
yes,
the best way to attain this thing when you're focusing on the tip of your nose. My problem
yes,
was that I was not able to focus, so that is
correct.
why I brought it up.
No, I am completely in agreement with you. The problem today that we face is our ambitions. We have been told that this is right and this is wrong, and if you don't do this, you're not successful. We have all been conditioned to a state where we are running, and if anybody asks us why you are running, where you are running, we are unable to answer that question. The thing is that you cannot change yourself because you've been conditioned for so many years. I have been conditioned that way. The the only way you can do that is to do what it takes in order to reach the goal. So the question is, what is the goal? Now, are you serious about getting samadhi? If you are serious about getting samadhi, it means you have mumukshutva. That is, the drive is there. So what do you need? You need to then find time to practice. Okay. Then what is the impediment? What are the bottlenecks that stop you from getting there? Family. That is the first part. There is, I have responsibilities. My children are still studying. I need to look after the house. I need to look after my husband. Great. No problem. Do you need to watch TV? Oh, I need to chill out. No, I've been working through the day. No, if you do that, then you have something else has got to keep. So you've got to then slowly say, I have my primary responsibilities, I have my secondary responsibilities, I have my tertiary responsibilities, and some of these I can shave off. So slowly you first begin to allocate time. Then you begin to experiment, because your shoe will only fit you. If you want to go from point A to point B, if you wear your neighbor's shoe, you can't get there comfortably. You have to wear your own shoe. So you have to allocate time, and slowly, whatever we are doing in class, try to extend it. And then you will realize that these are my internal churns. I have this internal turbulence. And then slowly you begin to start taking one turbulence at a time. You cannot build Rome in a day. You cannot get to moksha instantly. None of us is Ramana Maharshi. You have to go very systematically. So what happens is that it will take you 5, 8, 10 years. By that time, the children have started settling down. The load that, and you have to learn to say no. Like for instance, I told my daughter, I said, she said, why don't you come? We are going shopping. I said, no, that's your job. You and your fiance go. You all do what you all want. I gave her the credit card. Is it what you want to buy? You buy. I'm not coming. It's your life. So you have to say that. If you don't say that, you are going to be trapped in that again. So the entire thing is you have to learn to build your lines and slowly remove those lines and say no to more things. If you don't do that, you won't find the time. What is important? Moksha. Am I making sense?
Sure, sir. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Ramon sir. No answers. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm hearing, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir,
Okay.
you are having no question, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Now let's go a little deeper into the yama and niyama. Why they are important. Now, yama is the ability to interact with the environment in a state of peace. And niyama is the ability to absorb the information and process it and remain in a state of peace. Why is this important? Yama and niyama ensure that you don't get attached to those actions and to the objects. If we get attached to those actions and objects, what will happen is we will spare time to relate to that. The minute we spare time to relate to it, what happens is that we lose time in our practice of dhyana. The question really is, again, those five yama is ahimsa, satya, asteya, aparigraha, brahmacharya. I've only given 5. And mitahara, 6. That is, if you control your diet, start with the last. When you control your diet, what happens is, 2 things happen. First, you will become healthy. Second is, you begin to realize if you control your tongue, you can control many other things. And the most important thing that you can control is your speech. So when you control your speech, the most important thing that happens is that the heat of your speech becomes soft. When that happens, the amygdala, the sensory part which decides whether there is a fight or a flight requirement, begins to calm down. You don't see enemies everywhere. You don't challenge everything. You choose your battles. And most of the time when you choose your battles, you say, thank you very much, I don't want to be part of this game. When you start saying, I don't want to be part of the game, and you step back a bit, you are able to do what is most important for you, that is to look after the home, look after your job, and keep your peace of mind. Beyond this, if you are going to go and start taking pangas with everybody, like for instance, you're on the scooter, somebody comes and there is an accident. You have two choices. Either you move your scooter back and say, please go. Or, how are you? Who are you? How you don't know how to drive? You start that, you got in the, you start agitating inside. There's no point. Because at the end of the day, he is going to go his way, you are going to go your way. It's a transient thing, it's a temporary thing. You may have to spend some money on repairs, but at the end of the day, is it worth your peace of mind? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Because ultimately, if you are saying, my goal is to achieve moksha, then first of all, you have to retain your sense of peace. That sense of peace is the primary thing. Whether you do bhakti yoga, whether you do jnana yoga, whether you do hatha yoga, nothing, everything is fundamentally first existential. As my existence full of peace. If my internal existence with the rest of the world is peaceful, if I am able to process information within myself and retain that state of peace, then what happens is all my practice of asana, pranayama and pratyahara as well as dhyana begins to bear fruit. So you have to build the groundwork, those foundations. Before you build the foundation, your earth has to be cleaned out. All the kachada has to be removed. And that comes from niyama. Shaucham, santosham, swadhyayam, Ishvara Pranidhanam and other things. So what I'm trying to say is that the overthinking a problem is also a problem. You just have to let go. You have to learn that that baggage, that monkey that I have on my back is my monkey. It is not somebody else's monkey. It is for me to throw that monkey away. That baggage has to be let go. And that is something that comes with very great difficulty. You will first be able to let go some easy things. I will not drink coffee. I will reduce the sugar by 50%. I had that problem. I used to put 1 spoon of sugar. Now I put half a spoon of sugar. It's just that much. But that still is a letting go. So I used to drink 3 or 4 cups of chai in the office. I refused. I stopped. I said I'll have only 1 cup of tea in the afternoon. So I had 1 coffee in the house. I'd go to office. First I used to have coffee, tea in the office 3-4 times. Now I was having only once in the afternoon. And that was it. It was hard. But over time it happened. You have to put in that effort. Otherwise it's not going to happen. Nothing comes for free. You have to put in that effort. And that is letting go. Shaucham is cleansing yourself. After an argument, you have to cleanse yourself. You have to say, I need to get rid of this kachada that is inside myself. If you don't do that, your pot will continue to be dirty. Until you clean the pot, your soul will not become clean. And then only when your soul is clean, your dhyana will bear fruit. Because ultimately it is the identity, the purusha, that needs to be nullified, that becomes zero. Only when the sense of the purusha becomes zero, will you be able to merge with the Brahman. So, what I'm trying to say is that please try to practice. 99% of yoga is practice. And 80% of that practice is how we relate to our environment. By environment, I mean our friends. First of all, the primary relationships. That is for primary relationship. If it is a married couple, it is the husband and the wife. The secondary relationship is the children, not the children in the first. The primary relationship is not that. The children are there only to make the primary relationship work. Then once the children, so when you start letting go from the tertiary and the extraneous relationships and work backwards, then at some point in time you have to say, even the children, you are there, I'm very happy. I love you, fellows. But yeah, that distance. I need that space and time. So you need to build that space and time. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to try and get to samadhi. That time is required. That effort is required. And then over time, your own personal nature, your swabhava, will begin to drive you faster and faster. But for as long as you have all the tentacles sticking into you, you won't be able to move. And that is the key part. Are there any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, I'm going to ask for commitment. Because it means that if you have no questions, it means that you agree with what I'm saying. Then now start making the commitment for yourselves. That something you will start letting go on a daily basis. Can you do that? Hello? No answer.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
In any case, I was planning to reduce my WhatsApp and watching,
Great.
seeing.
That's a very great place to start. This WhatsApp is really one of those terrible places. I have gone out of all my groups in WhatsApp. I'm not a member of any group other than Yoga Vidya because I contribute there. But I am not a member of any other group. That's a great place to start. What about somebody else?
Sir, me, when you say, are you all ready to start giving up something? Are you meaning daily give up something or kind of?
Continuously. Every moment.
One thing has been given up, look for next thing to give up, like that?
When you give up something, first of all, make sure that what you have given up does not come back to you. That is the first thing. Second thing is, give up something more.
Sir, my style of giving up has always been, I have seen people give up, they tell that you have to do in incremental stage and all that. It never works for me. So for me, works is...
Like I told you, it is your shoe. What you wear is your shoe. You can't wear your neighbor's shoe and go to the temple. You have to wear your shoe and go to the temple. And there you have to remove the shoe. Now, why do you remove the shoe? That removal of the shoe means what? All your vasanas, you let it go and go inside and become merged with the Kevala Kumbhaka, the Garbhagraha. That which is inside the Garbhagraha, the state of null. That's all there is. The theory is very simple. It is essentially practice. Your methodology is your methodology. I cannot comment on your methodology. That would be very, very wrong.
No, sir. The reason I said it's because I give up, like, if I've identified something to give up, from next day I've given up. There is no...
Perfect.
So
then what do you want to do? Then what are you waiting for? Go and get samadhi.
Every single day what to give up, because it needs me only one decision to give up and that's it. It's gone. No more doing it.
Why are you unable to reach samadhi?
Because I don't know then after that next what to give up, and then that whole part.
Why do you have to give up? Don't give up. Don't give up silence. Why do you want to seek anything? Don't seek, just let it go. Just wait. Just sit in one place and be silent.
Really confused, sir. You just said that you must give up everything daily. You should give up something.
Meenu madam, that's not the way it works. I'm saying, what is the goal? Can you tell me what is the goal?
To attain moksha.
How do you attain moksha? What is the goal? The moksha is a byproduct of the goal. What is the goal? Goal is merger with Brahman.
Okay.
Goal is merger with Brahman. What is Brahman? The state of null.
Null.
The cognitive state of null.
Yes.
You have the goal.
Yes.
How will you reach that place? Now it is like Google Maps. You've got my current location. You've got my current location. You've got the destination. Now you have to put the map. What is the path you will take? What is the path you will take?
Sir,
Now you think about it. You know, you don't. Okay, tell me.
sir, that sadhana that you are telling to do, but then you also said to start giving up. So I fully got confused.
Dhyana, let me interrupt here. I think, Venu, madam, what you are thinking is every day give up something new.
Yeah.
That's not what he said. Correct me, sir, if I'm wrong. What he meant was give up something which will give you more time to focus on the priorities,
Okay.
on your goal. He did not say every day, today you give up this, tomorrow you give up B, tomorrow, day after you give up C. Is that what you meant, sir?
No. I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for interrupting, Lalita madam. The idea is, first of all, the goal is first to attain peace, external peace, internal peace, further the peace, and then slowly have silence permeate inside you, and then merge with the goal, which is Brahman.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, Lata madam, you had raised a hand.
Sir, I do have a question, but
Yes,
I don't know if I may end up deviating slightly from the topic.
that's
If that's
okay.
okay,
That
then
is
I
okay.
can ask the question.
Please.
Sir, for me, it's sometimes a confusion. What you have said makes absolute sense, but I have a two-pronged question actually. Now, let us assume, no, let us assume. I think India, by its very culture and all that, we have all been culturally through the ages. This is what has come down to us. You stick to your dharma, mind your business, don't open out too much and all that. And I feel that because of this only, we've had so many invasions, these Christian
Agreed.
missionaries, spreading
Agreed.
their religion, and all the
Correct.
Hindus also slowly starting to convert into all that. Now today, because we have an arranged, this is not political at all. I mean,
No. This is
please do not
absolutely
construe it
correct.
like that. But I feel that today, the last 10 years, because it is people who have come out, you take Dushyant Sridhar, you take Sai Deepak, the lawyer, or even Annamalai, Modi, Amit Shah, because of the sheer awareness they are bringing into our religion, our way of life, and of course, when they come out with all this, there is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of opposition members jumping out and they're saying it is not secular, this and that. But because of that, only today we all as Hindus have a greater sense of pride in our religion and all of that. So my question is that if it is it makes wonderful sense what you said, to go inside, to you just said some time ago, you put the control on your tongue, speak less. But when you do that, when I do that, let me speak for myself. Yes, I may be achieving my personal dharma or my personal thing of wanting to achieve Brahman, but am I contributing to society? Am I not supposed to go out and be able to defend my religion, my way of life, my tradition, my culture? And that is not going to happen if all I want to do is keep my mouth shut and try and achieve Brahman. So that is my question to you, and I'm so sorry for deviating from the topic for the day.
No. What a beautiful question. And that's why I did namaskar to you. So, what a beautiful question.
Sir, I also
So,
at this point want to thank Mr. Ram Mohan. I think he's doing a fabulous job of bringing out our traditions, the meaning of all the Mr. Ram Mohan and all those other people in the other group who are bringing out all that, because it's really a revelation. So many things about our religion which have come out because of that group. So I just take this opportunity to thank him, and I rest my case, sir.
my goodness, what a liar. No, I completely agree with what you're saying. Okay, that what you're saying is there is a personal goal and there is a societal duty. Dharma cannot function if the individual seeks only himself and does not support society. Now, let me ask you a question. Who is the doer here? Why do you think you cannot do both? That is the problem. The problem comes not in the understanding of you've recognized the problem. Brilliant. The problem is you think that you need to be involved in order to perform that action. What I am trying to say to you is, if you are doing that and you are continuing to remain in a state of peace, nothing will change. You will continue to do your duty. You will have a very clear focus that I need to understand dharma, I need to permeate dharma, I need to tell others about dharma, and I need to, in the process, also achieve moksha. Then let me ask you a simple question. In this particular class, are we not doing that? Are we not trying to, let me take my own personal case. I'm writing so many books. I'm talking about it to everybody. I'm helping people. But at the same time, the I is not there in that particular action. I do it, but there is no ahankara that I am the doer. I'm doing it. I'm talking to y'all. I'm listening to y'all. I'm teaching y'all. But there is no ahankara that I am the one who's making y'all do this. No. I'm doing it. That's all. Can you not do that?
I think it's very difficult, sir, actually.
It is difficult.
Sir, in this class, you have a homogeneous group of students who actually want to learn from you, and there is nobody to really say that what you're saying is wrong.
Okay, let's set up a challenge. Okay, let's set up an experiment, not a challenge, an experiment. Now, Meenu madam knows I live in Chennai. Meenu madam, if you can take a heterogeneous group, I don't know about Lata madam where you are. If you want, you set up an extraneous group. I will come and talk. Let's do this experiment. No, how to do it? Let's see. Otherwise, how will we look? At the end of the day, what is my intent? Whoever is in my class, whoever is interested, must achieve moksha.
Sir, may
Now, one moment, if I may finish, if in the process I can talk, if you're saying that in a heterogeneous group there will be a problem, let's talk to a heterogeneous group and see what happens. It's an experiment after all. If I can still live without ahankara, it means that you can too. Correct? Lata madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely. Yes. I mean,
So let's do it. No. Instead, see, the thing is that it's easy to theorize. Let us do it in practice and see what happens. Let us see if it works. I will also learn, you will also learn, no, in the process. So you will learn how to protect dharma without the Purusha getting trapped into it, without getting into a state where you are angry, you are experiencing tamas, rajas, and you are more in sattva. If you can be more in sattva when you are functioning, you achieve it. And afterwards, it's just a matter of distillation, no? It's just a matter of quietening, and merging. At the same time, you're functioning. Let me ask you, you said you're a chartered accountant. You go and do your GST, whatever. There is a lot of stuff that you do which is not savory. Can you do it without getting actively, can you do it in a dispassionate manner? Can you avoid doing it? These are things, challenges that you have. Then if you manage to do that, you do two things. You protect dharma and you set an example for somebody. Somebody is watching you. Always we are being watched by people. You set an example. You become a role model. Correct?
sure, sir. I'll give it a try.
No, the thing is that you have to give feedback also, because at the end of the day, it is not enough that you evolve. You have to make a difference to people around you. And that itself is dharma. So what protection of dharma you are doing is happening in a practical manner. You are setting an example. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Definitely. I mean, I think what you say makes immense sense. Maybe because I was talking from the political. I mean, when all the examples
know
that
where
I
you
quoted,
come.
they're all in the political sphere. With all the opposition. I see some of these channels or the newspapers or the WhatsApp commentaries and all that, and I think it's really it's very difficult in maybe in their position, because they are working at the national level with so much of opposition and all that, to not to be able to do like what you're saying, without with dispassion, remove the I from it and just present your point of view.
Keep talking about it. See, the thing is that I'm open for conversation anytime, because I recognize one thing. It is one thing to go on a stage and talk to 10 people, because what happens is what happens is that the person is sold, the message often is lost. There is anger, there is duality. We are not interested in duality. We want people to be calm, peaceful, and become dharmic. If you want people to become dharmic, just a podium is not enough. You have to teach people how to get there. And that is the point of this class. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, sir.
So let's be practical. Let's move in a stage where we can convert people one by one to reaching moksha. Everybody, if they become moksha, then this entire nation will become Hindu. Why do we have to worry about it? It may take 100 years, 200 years, but it will happen. May not be in our lifetime, but take one person, make a difference.
Sir, in it's continuation of sort of dhyana and what just now madam was saying. When we do dhyanam also, for two things, I mean, to remove that any I-ness and all that, if we remove, normally when we do japa or meditation, we do it with an open mind, without, what shall I say, asking for any particular favor or anything like that, not with any such reason. It's just done because it is
That's
good
all.
to do.
It's
It
done.
is required.
That's all. Correct.
Yeah. But even then, I have since some time, maybe a year or longer perhaps, I have started doing some japa for our Rashtra, for all the leaders who need who need the support of everyone. See, they need the strength. If we pray for them also, that also, so it is not for ourselves only, it is for a bigger cause, for the whole
Selflessness.
country, for nation, which will be useful for the whole Vishwa, for the whole Jagat also, finally.
See, I'll
So,
ask you a simple question, madam. Lalita madam, I've understood your point of view, what you're saying. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the point
no
I'm making,
problem.
Lalita madam, what I'm saying is that if you achieve perfection, there are 3, 4 people around you who will look at you and make you a role model. And
Correct.
they will
Yeah.
strive for perfection. If
Yeah.
you try to make them understand that they can in turn make a difference, it has a
Yes.
domino effect.
Yes. True.
So
See,
while though
it has to
japa
be on
for
both levels. It
so
has
the
to be
japa
on
for
both.
the
I do
nation
both.
is good. If while the japa for the
For
nation is good, the practical application and creation of more such people is a very
yes.
important aspect, which will come only when you do tapas, when you do internalization, when you practice yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana. That's all I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Agree.
Jai Shri madam,
Acha,
I'm
now the
sorry I
second
have.
question.
Yes.
One last question. You can answer this in the next.
Lalita madam, before I go to you, Jai Shri madam has raised a question more than 10 minutes back. I need to first attend to her.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
Thank you so much. So I was
Yes,
just
yes.
how I feel about it is when somebody says you need to give up something, that kind of puts me in a state of I'm being controlled
Anxiety.
and I feel
Anxiety.
rigid. Yeah. So instead,
Anxiety.
if I put my head and heart into doing something that I need to do, I shift my focus and I do
Okay.
what I need to do and keep away that way from what I must not be doing. So that helps me than to hear the words give up. Give up is too strong for me. It is too
That's
strong.
it's your shoe. It's
Okay.
the shoe that you can only wear. Those needles are
No.
poking you. So don't wear that shoe. That's it.
Okay.
Simple.
So it's okay to think like that.
Absolutely okay to think like
Okay,
that. But
fine.
so
Okay.
long as that leads to peace, that leads to silence, that
Okay.
leads to kumbhaka, that leads to the garbhagraha of your own soul. The
That
Purusha
is
becomes zero and you merge with Brahman. If it has happening, doesn't matter what path you take.
okay. Rather than do that, I just tell myself, I get into the act mode of let me do my meditation, let me say my prayers, let me do my practice. So that helps me.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah.
No problem. Lalita madam, back to you.
Okay. I've been thinking of this a couple of times, but today I'm saying at last. When you say, it is all Brahman is null, you say, no, Null. Am I right?
Null.
Correct. Null. Okay.
It's a
So my
cognitive state. It is no null is zero. Zero is can be looked at in the state of physics, mathematics, or in a cognitive state. Here I'm talking about a cognitive state that is coming from the. It's a visceral state where the purusha, the I, there is no I there. Then what happens after the I is removed is the state of null or the Brahman.
So my only, so this is again, it may be my shoe, I don't know. But for me, instead of the word null, the purnatva, the purna, that rings something more to me.
Sure, use
It,
it. Use it. No problem. No problem. Use it.
yeah,
If it makes,
yeah. I
if
mean,
it is,
I suppose it is. I suppose the both are the same in one
yeah,
sense.
it doesn't matter.
So okay.
It
No,
doesn't
but
matter.
I wanted to know. I wanted to know why you say null. Though in my
Because
mind I take it as Purna, I wanted to know why you
see,
keep saying null.
Purna is infinity. Infinity is 1 divided by 0. That means there is still an element in it. Okay. The 1 is still material. 0, a cognitive state of 0 has no material. So that is why I prefer not to use Purna as opposed to Shunya. For me, it is Shunya. Shunya means none, nothing. Purna means there is still something. You get what I'm saying?
No, for me it is not something. For me it is fullness, the wholeness, the
But
completeness.
okay, then you at least get there. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
Get
exactly,
there.
exactly.
It doesn't matter. Get there.
It is to merge in that. It is to understand that. It's to merge in that. Only is the goal.
So when you
So,
have a sahaja, when you
but
merge,
at the same time,
when you are in sahaja, when you merge with that object, for your object is purna, no problem. Merge with that. That time the purusha becomes zero, and you merge with the Brahman. That's it.
But at the same time, understand the null point of it in a little different way. Just like if the cup is full, we can't pour more water in it or more milk or whatever in it. So we just need to be empty within. In that sense, I would say we have to be in that sense null to, we have to be empty within so that we receive the grace or whatever, the understand it with an open mind.
We cognize the
Yeah, we
Brahman. That's it.
cognize, yeah, yes, with an open mind and open
That
heart.
awareness, the sthita prajna, the prajna begins to merge with the Brahman. That's all there is.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
last questions. Anybody else has any questions? Otherwise, we can wrap up. Okay, thank you very much. I'm closing the class for today.